up, guys? Welcome back. I told you in my last video that I would be doing modifications to my $99 Hatfield 12 gauge, this little cheap beauty right here, and that's what this video is going to be about. So to start with, if you're following along with your 12 gauge, your Hatfield, what you're going to need: a tape measure, a Phillips screwdriver, a Flathead Screwdriver, about knocked something over. You're going to need a ratchet with an extension and a 1/2" socket, and a hacksaw if you're going to be hacking off the barrel like I am, because 28 inches on a barrel is way too dang long to be walking through the woods. So let's get this video started. I think the first thing that I'm going to work on is the trigger pull. And I've been reading up on this shotgun, and it should be relatively easy to lighten up the trigger a little bit. So let's get started. So the first thing you're going to need to do is get your Phillips screwdriver. Fold this barrel in half because it's going to be hard to work with it in here. Look on the bottom of your shotgun. You're going to see 2 Phillips screws right here. It's for the little butt pad, which is basically just a piece of plastic. There's no softness or recoil reducing to it. But remove these 2 screws. It'd probably be easier if I got my drill, but I'm just going to keep using my manual screwdriver. Actually, you don't even have to remove both. Remove one of them and loosen up the second one just a little bit, just where you can free this plate. That way you can move it to the side. And as you can see, down in this hole is the 1/2" bolt that you're going to be removing. Alright, so get your socket and extension. Turn it all the way out. Alright. Now take the buttstock off. Then what you're left with is this right here. And what we're going to be focused on is this hammer spring right here. It's actually a flat spring. And all we have to do is loosen this bolt up a little bit, and that should significantly reduce the trigger pull on this thing, because like I said in my other video, it's pretty stiff. So any reduction in that is a great gain. So here's where you're going to need your flathead, by the way, because it's actually a flathead screw or bolt, whatever you want to call it, don't matter, same difference, that holds that down. Now what you're going to do is just slightly loosen this up. You don't need to go too much. I'm going to go 3 turns. See how that does. Man, with just 3 turns, that is significantly lighter. I think I'm gonna stick with that. So 3 turns of this. Wow, that's a whole lot better. Alright, now we're gonna get this back together with the buttstock on, and then we're gonna get to the barrel part. Hard to work with this long gun. I cannot wait to get rid of that humongous barrel. Alright, here we go. Let's get this back down in there. Get my socket. Just do the same way. Just put your 1/2 inch socket down in there. Just tighten it up. It's that simple with this gun to change the amount of force that it takes to pull that trigger. Alright, got that tightened. Put these bolts, tighten these screws back in. Get to cutting that barrel. Oh man, that is nice. Now you have to make sure also that you don't loosen that little bolt in there too much, because if you do, your hammer will not hit the firing pin hard enough to set off your primer. So let's go ahead and go to the next part of this modification. We're going to cut off about 9 inches of this barrel. The legal length for a shotgun barrel is 18 inches. So you have to have at least 18 inches just for the barrel part for it to be legal. Then you have to take into account that the whole shotgun has to be 26 inches long. So you have to make sure not to cut too much off of your barrel, because you could technically go to an 18-inch barrel and then be under length on the overall length of the gun, and it would still be illegal. So what you got to do is make sure to take off just enough on the barrel that it's legal, and the overall length is still 26 inches. So that's where your tape measure comes in. And like I said, this gun is 43.5 inches long overall. And the barrel itself, as I've said, is 28 inches. So basically, with the 28-inch barrel, and it's already a long shotgun already, I could technically, legally take off 10 inches of the barrel. But if I take off 10 inches off this barrel, this hooked on the end. If I took off the full 10-inch that I could, it would be, it's kind of hard to work with one hand. Hold the camera with one hand. It would be in the middle of this vent right here. And in my opinion, that would be pretty ugly just to chop it and have that hanging over. So what I'm going to do on my barrel is cut off about 8 1/4 inch. And that will be right here at the end of this vent. I think that'll give me a good length. I mean, that's a lot of barrel to cut off. And I'll still have the top ridge of this to put this bead sight back in. So that's where I'm going to cut it, 8 1/4 inch. So let's get the barrel in the vise, let's get the hacksaw out, and let's cut this bad boy down. Okay, now that we got the gun in the vise, what we're going to do, or what you should do, is first off make sure you got the gun in your vise level, because you don't want to cut it aslant. I mean, I guess you could cut it at a slant, it don't really matter, as long as whatever the shortest part of your barrel, wherever you cut, if it ain't a straight cut, you make sure you got the lengths that you need. But what I did, I took my level and I laid it on top of the ridge right here just to make sure I have it level. That'll help me, I don't know, be at least more accurate at cutting straight, as accurate as you can be with a hacksaw. And just, you know, it's helpful hints. So what you got to do, put the tape measure at the end of the barrel. I'm just going to use this little nail just because, but if you have like a little paint marker or something, just so you can mark about where you're going to cut. And I'm just going to scratch the barrel at the top at the 8 1/4 inch mark. I don't know if y'all can see that on camera, but I can definitely see it for myself. Put the tape measure away, get your hacksaw, and just get the cutting right on that mark. And make sure you go nice slow and keep steady and straight, and you should get a nice good cut. Start off nice and slow. Yay! There it is, 8 1/4 inches off this barrel. You know what? I'm going to save this piece because I think I'm going to make me a little cannon out of it. put a nice big plug in the end in the breech, seal it up, weld it up closed. I think I could make another homemade cannon out of this. So let's take the shotgun out and check it out. Oh yeah, look at that. Now what I'm gonna do, you don't have to, but I'm gonna take some hand files, and obviously I'm gonna clean this up a little bit. We'll make sure it's, you know, nice and level so it looks good, which it looks good. Let me get a close up. Hopefully you can see that pretty clear. It's a nice clear cut. Then I'm also gonna have to take this little bead sight out of the end. Hopefully you can see that really good too. I'm not exactly sure how it's in there, but hopefully it just pulls out. It might be screwed in, I'm not sure. Take that out, drill another hole the size that I need in the end, and stick it in. I like it. I think that is, look at that. I mean, it's almost exactly the same length as the buttstock here. And I'll be able to carry this around a lot easier. This is awesome. It's really turning out to be a perfect $99 YouTube gun. That's what I'm gonna call this. This is my YouTube gun. But I think what I'm gonna do now is take y'all outside with me and put some rounds in it and try it out. See if the recoil has changed any. I'm sure the barrel will lift a lot more now that I have a shorter barrel. And just try that out for now. Let's go ahead and put a few shots downrange, just to make sure that I didn't lighten the hammer up too much, and just to see if there's how much difference it is shooting it with a short barrel. Woohoo! Good gosh. Having that trigger pull that much lighter is, oh, it's amazing. That almost adds, in my opinion, another $50 worth of value on top, because I mean, if you got a pretty good trigger, that's good money. So with the turn, like I said, I turned it at least 2.5, 3 turns, and I love it. I think that's the perfect amount of looseness to it. Woo. That's awesome. That's great. That makes me really, really freaking happy about this gun. I'm gonna get lots of uses out of this for this channel. I pretty much got this gun just for you guys, so that I can just stick anything and everything down this barrel, and I mean, I can just do anything. It's awesome. I think it's great. So there's your video on 2 modifications for this $99 gun to make it, in my opinion, 100% better. I mean, it's a totally different gun to me now. And I think I'm still going to modify this so that I can get it to close all the way down. I think I'm gonna have to cut the trigger guard, modify it a little bit, and probably modify the buttstock a little bit here. But I think I can get this thing to fold completely in half, and that would be, if it was folded in half completely, that would be the perfect camping backpack gun. I mean, you just stick that thing down in your backpack and go. So I think that's my next modification. I probably won't make a video on that, but you will see in my next video with the gun the fully modified version of it. So keep watching, and I hope you have a great week, guys. Take it easy. If you aren't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video. If you like the modifications I did, it helps a lot. Watch all my other stuff. Later, guys.